Welcome back to Codingcat.dev, where we give you cats the freshest dose of dev snacks. Brought to you by Cloudinary. Build faster with AI-powered image and video APIs. Welcome back, perfect peeps, to Codingcat.dev podcast. Today on the show, we have Chris Sev. What's up, Chris?
What's up? How's it going?
Oh, it's good, man. It's Friday. I haven't done a pod on a Friday in a while. I know we're kind of in pre-recording mode, so this will typically come out on Wednesday, but excited to do it on Friday. I feel very casual about it.
Yeah. I didn't even remember it was Friday until you told me.
I actually just got back from Denver, and like the moment I flew out, they got a dumping of snow. So they got multiple feet of snow, I believe, when I left. So happy
Yeah.
to have dodged that, but it sounds like you're kind of dealing with the same.
Well, I moved to the area maybe a month ago now, and everyone's like, "Oh, you'll get snow here and there." And then this happened, and I just shoveled. I spent like 2 hours yesterday shoveling about 17 inches off my driveway.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And it took a while, and it's like I feel like my rite of passage to the area, to the snow. So it was fine. But yeah,
Remind me,
people are
like
like,
you've always been warm weather, right?
yeah, born and raised Las Vegas. So
Yep. Nice. That's
Vegas has had
probably a
snow like
whole new
3
thing for
times
you.
in 30 years.
Yeah, so I'm up in Michigan, so usually like we have the snow blowers going and everything else, but it's been such a tame winter. It's unbelievable. I think I only snowblowed like 3 times, so
Oh, nice.
hopefully
Recommended to get the blower or keep shoveling?
so the challenge is there's two different aspects I always look at in this. If you are like physically like you stay in tune and like I do CrossFit now, like if you're doing that, keep shoveling, man. Like that's a great
Mm,
workout. Do
it is
that.
a good workout.
If you start to like find like, oh, every time I do it, I've hurt my back or something's not going well, it's time to pivot. If you're in Michigan, typically like all winter long, you're out there with a snowblower like every other day or
Oh,
every third day or something like that. So it's a little more useful.
okay. Yeah, they say you use it like maybe twice here per year. So,
Yeah, see, that's challenging. I feel like
yeah,
most folks out there don't because it's like it'll snow and then 2 days later it'll be gone.
yeah.
Maybe not in this crazy storm, but
I mean, the sun's already out. Everything's good now. Everything's
oh,
melting already.
you're so lucky. It's
Yeah.
a great spot to be in. All right, enough about the weather, Chris. Many folks, hopefully not many folks, but some folks probably don't know you and haven't kind of heard about your journey and development. And so I want to go to the, way back. Let's talk about how you got started in web dev and kind of got your beginnings.
Yeah. Getting started in web dev, I was 14 years old, and a buddy of mine gave me a bootleg copy of Dreamweaver. I don't know if
Oh, that's right. It
anybody.
used to come on CD, didn't it? Or
Yeah,
DVD,
yeah.
whatever.
CDs are like, it
Yeah,
had like activation keys that you could just go ahead and like try to crack.
100%. Yep.
Oh, what a different time. Yeah, so I got one of those, and I was like looking at the price. I'm a 14-year-old kid. I'm like looking at the $1,400 price on
Right.
this piece of software. And it's like, oh my gosh, somebody gave me this. I should just figure out how to use it. So uh, I started. It was a WYSIWYG drag and drop type editor. So I would move things around, and then you could click over to the HTML,
Yep.
and I'd click over, and it was trash. Like the p tags would like close at the wrong spots. The divs were misclosed, and so I just started fixing it.
So wait.
And
Were you like a developer of any kind before this,
none,
or this is
no.
like someone gave you
I
this and you just went this
I had
direction?
a gaming clan.
Okay,
And one of the dudes in that gave me the Dreamweaver key.
that's awesome. What a
Yeah,
start! Holy smoke!
yeah.
So you
But
quickly learned the wrong way to write HTML. It sounds like.
yes, quickly. And they say if you want the right answer, you don't go out and ask for the question. You just put out the wrong answer, and people will correct you. I feel like that's what Dreamweaver did to me. It, like, wrote terrible code, and then here I am, like a year later, and I'm making my neighbor's website.
Oh my goodness,
And
that's
then I'm
brutal.
freelancing after that, and then I'm starting a website after that. And I guess my big start to my career, I started a website called Scotch IO. We built up to like 4 million page views per month. It was web development tutorials.
It was an awesome
Uh,
site too. I mean, that's the first I knew of you. It was so cool to see it, and it was kind of it was more of comedic's the wrong word, but it was kind of like a non like
yeah,
or like it felt fresh. It felt good to
yeah.
learn from.
We took pride in like not putting a suit on, and you know
Mm.
what I mean? And I think you have your branding in the same boat, right? Like, let's have fun with it. So I built that up, got acquired by DigitalOcean, which was a whole learning experience for me. And then since then, I've just been kind of cruising and hanging out, building courses.
What talk more about like that was like 6 years of your life, right? 5 years, something like that. Scotch
Yeah,
IO.
6 years of Scotch, and it was actually a side project the whole time. I still had a job during the day. Um, And yeah, once you like build something for 6 years and then you don't have it the next day, there's like I'm sure you have it in your head like, "Oh, I'm," when you go to sleep, you're like, "What am I gonna build tomorrow?" Or like,
Yeah,
"What's the next thing?" Like, "Do I need to watch out on tech Twitter for like what's next on the horizon?"
constantly. It's a
I
constant
all of
battle.
Yeah, and all of that stuff meant nothing anymore. Like I had all this built up things that I didn't need. So, I don't know, a lot of soul searching after that. Um,
What was it like kind of like so you build up your baby essentially and you're kind of at a point you probably had people working for you or kind of contract work?
no, we had contractors. Yeah, so it was myself, my partner, and then we had about 500 guest authors at the time.
Okay. That's incredible. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was got pretty large at the end there.
And so talk a little bit more if you can about like did you approach DigitalOcean? Did they approach you? How did that go down and
No,
how long
so
did it take?
I would say overall the deal probably took 6 months, but I think because a few of the people that were like involved in the deal had gone on vacation for like 2 months. So if it had gone faster, it would have been like maybe 3 to 4 months, which um, is pretty quick, I think, for like a big organization to
Totally.
move like that.
Yeah. And what was the like kind of that merger or acquisition? What did that mean for Scotch.io kind of more long term? Like did that all of that content get swallowed into it? What did that actually look like?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and I guess back to that original question, the one right before this, who contacted? They contacted me, and it actually went to my spam folder,
Oh no.
and I like almost missed it, and just happened to go to the spam, happened to like click into it, and it was the most casual, "Hey, what's up? Like, how you doing?" And it looked like spam. So
Wow, that's incredible. That
this,
came from the marketing department or something like that?
the CMO at the time, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
uh,
And so
yeah.
when DigitalOcean came in and like, "Yeah, we want it," and they started to pull it in, did they pull your content over to DigitalOcean so that they were getting those SEO hits or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was their big play. Like as big as Scotch was, like 4 million page views per month. I think they were rocking around 5 or 6 million at the time by
sure.
themselves. DigitalOcean community tutorials were like top tier back then too. Yeah, so they said let's migrate some over. We'll do some 301 redirects. It was a whole big SEO play, and as I understand it, it worked well for them as far as like,
Great.
which was kind of the up in the air question. Will these JavaScript tutorials, these front end type tutorials, will they convert to an infrastructure company? And it did, which is
Yeah, for
cool.
sure. That's awesome. And for you, was there like a, "Hey, you gotta come on for 2 years," that kind of standard role, how that
Yeah,
worked?
the classic golden handcuffs, I would say, 4 year,
Okay.
4 year vest, cash up front type thing. Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool. And then I think at one point, I mean, you and I were doing some other stuff. I can't remember if I was at AppWriter or Builder or where I was, but
Yeah, yeah.
we were chatting there too. And you seemed like kind of a developer advocate. Was that your title while you're at?
Yeah, I've been a developer advocate, developer relations for the entire time since I left Scotch. And I personally really like the position because it's kind of like do whatever you want anywhere in the company, talk to customers, go help the product team out. go write docs or go make videos. Like you can go wherever and
For sure.
it's a free pass. I love it.
It's always, like, too much. There's always something to do, but it's also cool because you can flip and do anything as well, so it's a double-edged sword that you get into, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely need to know what to work on, which is
Yeah,
half the battle.
totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then, so we're gonna get into a few more things, but, like, most recently, you've started, as a dev advocate at SourceGraph, right?
Yep. Yeah. So,
And
the
did
way the
that
world is
did that require the move? I know you kinda moved Vegas to Denver and
no, that was remote completely as well. And it's like,
gotcha.
look, we've got, two new kids. Um, let's just go anywhere. We're both remote, my
Yeah.
wife and I, and it's like, let's get them some seasons. Let's get them a little more outdoors. Let's have some fun.
Shout out Cap over on the Sanity
Yeah.
team, right?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Cool. So yeah, I guess that gets like a little bit of Chris's background. Obviously, in 10 minutes, I don't think we can cover a decade worth of work, but
Yeah.
that was pretty close. So when we come back from break, we're gonna dive into Chris's I don't know, do you call it a new side hustle? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
okay.
would call it a side hustle. Yeah.
So we're going to talk all about Videotap and AI and kind of what's going on that side of the house, and we'll get into it. We'll see you on the flip.
Cloudinary allows you to remove any unwanted backgrounds, so you can reuse assets efficiently. You can also erase objects and people from images for placement in new experiences. For more engaging content, easily turn static images into dynamic animations. And rely on smart cropping to always deliver assets with a focus on the most relevant objects to your brand. Cloudinary Programmable Media. Build faster with AI-powered image and video APIs.
Thank you, Cloudinary, once again, not only for sponsoring the show, but also hosting all of my images for all these years. So huge shout out for you guys. All
I
right.
did all
So
the images for Scotch also.
nice. Yeah, Cloudinary
Yeah.
it's a great company. It's very developer focused, which is what I love the most. So all right, so we kind of got everybody up to speed before the break on Chris's journey throughout his development years and Scotch IO and moving to DigitalOcean, all that fun. But now we're going to talk a little bit more about Videotap, which is a product I've been using on Codingcat and the podcast as well to kind of break out our podcast stories as well as some of the videos that we push out on social. So Chris, do you want to give him the breakdown of what Videotap is?
Yeah. Yeah. So Videotap, er, I'm still working on like finding product market fit, right? But the current tagline is repurpose your videos into marketing content. And what we do is we basically take all your videos, you spent hours making them, right? Like sweat and tears making these videos. We use AI to generate social media clips for you, blog posts, recaps, and everything you need for YouTube, social posts, a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, we're building this because I personally needed it as a DevRel.
Yep.
And seeing where this goes as like a side hustle and seeing if we can grow a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool. Like it's the way it started off, like working out of the box for me, and then like continuously giving feedback, and you guys are on top of it immediately. Like that whole feedback loop has been incredible to use. And as someone that does DevRel for a living, like this tool is what I need. Like there's certain things which you guys probably have floating in your feature requests still that I'm like, hey, can we get this, this, and this? But it's really close to like what I'm looking for too. Can you talk a little bit more on technology wise without like giving away the secret sauce?
Oh, I'll give away the whole stack. I don't care.
Perfect, awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are you using for AI? Like what's the cloud provider, all that fun stuff?
Yeah. So cloud provider is actually AWS,
Yep,
but the whole stack is Laravel. I
cool.
personally think that, and I've got courses out on React, done Next.js for years. But Scotch, I had built on Laravel built and sold project on Laravel. You know what I mean? So coming back to the Laravel land after being in JavaScript for maybe 3-4 years while at DO, uh, it really solidified how productive the Laravel stack is. Specifically Laravel plus its Livewire packaging.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they call it the tall stack. But that's what everything is built on. I think it's super productive. The AI type stuff, to be honest, is pretty simple. Like we're just making prompts and calls out to OpenAI or Anthropic, depending on what call is needed. And these people move so fast. Like in the beginning, we had very specific OpenAI type stuff, and then Claude 2.1 came out, so we immediately switched over. It had better results, and then GPT-4 came out, so we switched back, and then so now we just have like a really simple interface that just like says make call to AI, and you can either say OpenAI or Anthropic, and then it just switches it out because now Cloud 3 is here. You know, GPT-5's coming. Who knows?
Yeah, it's crazy to be able to like flip and choose and do whatever you want with those. So something I guess for the users, like some of the workflow, like we'll do this podcast, I'll put the video out, but I need to like post to Coding Cat a few different things. So the first step in this process is I give it a YouTube link into Videotap. And when that comes in, you guys are taking and like pulling that full transcript to start off with. How does that look from a pipeline flow?
Yeah, so we have a couple different ways that we do things, but for yourself that's on a pro account, we actually download the video and then we upload that to Assembly AI.
Ooh,
And
I'm
the
not
reason,
familiar with that one.
yeah, Assembly AI is great at transcribing, and the reason we use them over anybody like Whisper or we just go get the YouTube transcript, Assembly gives us timestamps per word.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And that's the only way we can really build out these clips and like highlight words as they're being spoken and stuff like that is Assembly.
Really cool.
Yeah. So as we've started to learn, like a lot of these people say, oh, you're just an AI wrapper for like a lot of these apps coming out these days, um, and I think most people start out that way, but what
Mhm.
you get into is you turn into an AI like pipeline.
Yep.
Like we're a whole process that's like 10 steps in this process before you can actually get to anything usable, right? Um,
Yeah,
and
and
a
the
lot of it is like checking to make sure the AI didn't do wrong generations.
yeah, something that I'm like, what I always get into is kind of I feel like kids these days or people in general, they just don't watch long form. But I love doing like this podcast in more of a long form context. And some of what you guys are doing too is breaking out this video into different segments or like snippets, and like those can become your video on social. Well, how are you like picking out or choosing like what works in there too?
Yeah, we've tried a couple different ways, and what we landed on that, especially now with Claude 3 uh, and GPT-4 Turbo, we kind of just pass in a transcript. We pass in a couple other pieces of information like the chapters, like the title of the video, like goals of the video, what format it is, and we just say, hey, look, like exactly what you would give to a human, right? You would say, hey, this is the video, this is the context of the video, what it's about. Here's the transcript. Now go find the best parts that are good for making highlights that could go viral, and the LLMs are good enough nowadays that they can like spot the right parts as long as you give the
Yeah.
correct instruction. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so something like I've noticed, I also run mine through Opus Pro because it spits out so many
Yep.
like and some cool parts in there. Like I can say I want a 30 to 60 seconds, so it fits within YouTube's,
Mm.
60 seconds or less, and it's got to be 16 by now. And like our talk, something that they're doing, maybe it's another feature request. I don't know. It'll take our two heads, right, and it'll put them on top of each other, and then it does the
Yep.
captions. But that thing like spits out everything. The other piece to it is they add in, I should just bring this up. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
talking about it so
No,
much
I
here.
and I totally know. If you talk about the best in the industry at doing this, it's Opus is fantastic.
It's actually shockingly, like, quick and like spot on. So here I'll show the viewers a little something there. So let me bring this up. So if you're watching this on the video format, which I hope you guys are, when you come out here, if I take any one of our YouTube videos, right? So I go out here. This is our latest. Let's do the share. So if I drop this into Opus Pro, the cool thing and what Chris is talking about, the prompting side of this. So like it comes in and I say, okay, cool. Here's this piece. Here's the processing time. So I want 30 to 60. But the other piece that's in here is this topic filter keyword, right? So if I know we talked about something hilarious, or like I'll put in Scotch.io when we go to do yours, so I can pull out Scotch.io from that. It's something
Mhm.
that's kind of neat when it starts to analyze those video bits or the transcription of those, that it starts to pull in those different areas and then it'll process that full clip. So to walk through the video tap side, I don't know why I didn't start with this, but this is what it looks like on the video tap side. So we have all of my videos, same deal. You go to add videos. And now that I know you download this, I guess I'll just upload these before I hit YouTube with them. Cause I don't think it's
Mm.
going to matter either way. So I'll probably click upload. And then when it comes back to the dashboard side, this is the type of stuff that Videotap is providing. So this is cool because like I can use these clips directly like in Twitch or sorry, in Twitter or something like that, where it's more of that traditional 16:9 instead of the vertical series of it. But the
Does
awesome,
Opus do horizontal?
they do both now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So if they have an API, maybe it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean they're fantastic at what they do.
And the crazy part on their side too, which I don't think you guys have yet, is if I want to edit any of their stuff too, their editor, their online editor, blows my mind. So like I can come in here and it's already got these snippets like this, where it's got it out here, right? And
Mhm.
if you go into edit mode, you can clip by like word and change and add and like change the format. So if I don't want it in the split, I can put it full. It's really wild what they've done. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
that chunk, again, it could be out in AWS in its own little process. You could throw that back and it processes. It'll say, okay, about 3 minutes or 5 minutes, depending how long the clip is and how overloaded the servers, which I don't know why it'd be overloaded. They often say it's overloaded, but whatever. So that piece of it. So some niceties there too. But the cool part, back to video tap. Sorry, I'm jumping around, folks.
No, no, you should. This is turning into like a customer call for me.
Yeah, it kind of is, yeah.
Yeah.
So the cool part over here, like the great part is this also comes out as a blog post, right? So I need this for Codingcat.dev, where we actually release this version of podcast. These have been getting better. I need out of like an hour and a half or an hour show, probably something longer, which you and I and some of your engineering team we've talked about. I'm like, I need like 5,000 words with code samples, please. And
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah. You know
of,
what's funny about that?
yeah.
So if you prompt LLMs to say like, give me 2,000 words, it'll never give you 2,000 words. So
Yeah.
what you have to do now, and we found out, is if you want 5,000 words, you ask it for 10,000. You
Oh,
always ask
really?
it for double, and it'll give you the original number you wanted.
Hot take. Someone
Yeah.
click the button. There's a new thing in StreamYard I can clip automatically. Where is it? Anyways, that's awesome to know. The other cool part, so we were talking about each piece and part. So I go to the YouTube side of this and I'll often go, oh, like that sounds better than what I was coming up with. That's great. Here's your YouTube chapters. Those are usually spot on. I've got to tweak like our advertisement, our like
Those have gotten really good. Yeah.
those have
I've
gotten real
spent
good. Yeah.
tons of time on that by myself.
Yeah, that's been really, really nice. And where is here, the YouTube tags is huge for me. Like
Have they gotten better?
I think they've gotten better. They're not quite as good as TubeBuddy, like what it will
Oh, okay.
suggest and go through. Be interesting if they have like an API out there that you can
Yeah, I
use
should
too.
check with them because I know that they do a little bit more because we're not really going to YouTube's API to go grab
Right.
like
Yeah, what's trending and what's
trending. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that would be cool to pull out. And yeah, then SEO, here's some fun stuff. I don't really use this. I probably should look at this more.
I
But
actually have been used. So like we just launched, if you go to the homepage
of Videotap.
of Videotap, yeah, I don't think you can get it You have to delete it, yeah. And you go to free tools at the top. So I've been adding these slowly as like SEO plays. And if
Gotcha.
you click on YouTube Summarizer on the left, this has been getting really good too, as far as like I use it myself for. I
Does
wonder if
this?
it'll stop you. Oh no, it shouldn't because you have.
I don't know.
All right, let's see what happens. But yeah, I'd like whenever I like
Cool.
find a YouTube video and I don't want to watch it.
These things
This
are
has
so
been
long too. I don't know how
yeah.
long it'll take to process, but yeah. So
But yeah.
this is pulling the transcript from YouTube, I assume.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really fun too. Yeah, and then a couple tweets. I would love to see an integration over to like your favorite tweet system of some kind. So
Yeah, yeah.
maybe one day.
There's
I know
a
it's
big like
challenging.
yeah. So I guess on the personal side, Cap and I, we sold our house back in November-ish. And ever since then, we've been in like this nomad life thing. We've moved like 3 times in the past like 6 months. And we're finally at our landing spot. And we're like, this office, I mean, you can see it. It's not even set up.
Sure.
But
I didn't
I
realize you
like,
guys moved multiple times. That's always
yeah,
fun and painful. Like you
yeah,
guys, I assume, build a house or something.
yeah. We did.
Yep, we've played the old sell your house, move to an apartment, get the build done, move to the new place. Yeah, it's such a
Yeah,
pain.
it's tough. Yeah, you're just in limbo for like so long.
Yep.
But yeah, no. So what I'm bringing it up to is like, I think now is like a really good time for me to just hunker down and get all these feature requests in, go steal from Opus. But yeah, like a lot of these things, like for the blog post one, we've been playing around with this advanced editor where instead of just writing the whole thing for you, it generates an outline first.
Yeah, I
And then
should have showed
you can rearrange your outline, you can change your outline, and then it fills in the sections as we go.
that. The really cool part in there that I've been enjoying as well is the ability just to take those screenshots directly out too.
Oh yeah,
I find that like, does it have one? So like this right here, this image that came out, you can also just click add screenshot and it knows like time wise like where it's at, and so it's like cool. I'll just take a screenshot and throw it in there.
yeah. I think we've been kind of cruising for the past few months, but we're back at it.
No, I love it.
And
That's
it's
cool.
myself and 2 other guys, 2 buddies, just cranking away at code.
Are you finding that kind of in your day job, are you able to use this full time now or no at SourceGraph?
Yes. So I've found that there's a big disconnect. Like the content it generates have been good. Like clips, you have to tweak a little bit. The blog posts, you have to tweak a little bit, right? And that's kind of expected with these AI tools right now. Until GPT-5, then we'll see. Cloud
Yeah.
3 Opus
You
is
should
really
check
good
out some
too.
of the Gemini stuff too. So I've been doing a lot of work with Google, and I'm under NDA, so I can't talk about some of the stuff I'm testing, but keep an eye out.
Yeah. What's funny is we have asked it to do the same prompts that we've asked Claude and OpenAI, and it will never return content because it's like, I'm not sure if this is copyrighted material.
Yeah.
And then you like say, hey, I wrote it. And it's like, I'm not sure.
Prove
so it won't do it.
Show me your ID. Come on.
Yeah. So at the moment we can't use Gemini.
No, that's fair. I completely understand that. Like I said, keep your eye out.
Yeah, we're checking out every release. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So sorry, at SourceGraph, like, are you like, I just did this video and you're dumping it in or not quite yet?
Oh yeah. So I think something that I've lacked, because I haven't really been too much on the content side of things. I switched over to this like SaaS creator side of things
Gotcha.
for
Okay.
Videotap, right? But now that I'm back in a DevRel role, you get feedback from customers, which is fantastic. But then there's like a whole different level when you use it yourself.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is happening here? This sucks. So not even myself too. Like I use it now and I'm seeing a lot of things that I need to fix, but Cap also is using it and just getting a lot more personal with these updates, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, I've been using it. I think it generates good content. I think the place we can improve the most is flow. Like like ideally, I should just upload a Videotap, have it generate my description, tags, chapters, subtitles, and then just one click upload to YouTube itself,
Yeah,
right?
dude, you do that, that's game changer if you ask me.
Yeah,
If you can actually do full content, like, if you could take that whole thing and that becomes my CMS in a way, like, that
yeah,
is kind of cool, or at least, like, connect out to a CMS, like, oh
yep.
my gosh, it would save me so much work.
I know, and one of the things I like is a lot of people say like, oh, AI apps, there's no moat because people can just kind of like leave, go to a different app, and it's
Mhm.
true. It's true. Like you could leave and go to Opus completely, and that's fine, right? But the way you build a moat is integrations.
Yeah,
So if your workflow is built through Videotap to YouTube to WordPress wherever, it's a lot harder to leave there. Like nobody leaves Zapier, you know.
right. Yeah,
Uh,
1000%. Once you're in there, you're good.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's next for us integrations because I've seen it myself using it. There's it generates the content, but it's clunky because you're already uploaded to YouTube, and then you have to go back out and get content.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
You gotta dive into that studio, upload, yada, yada, yada. Yep.
yeah,
I'm trying to think what other like uh, video tap for me. Like it's the tool I always wanted to build, but like
yep.
I'm always wanting more, right? Like I would want something like Opus, but then I use Social Bee for my socials. Like I'd want
Mm,
that in there. I want content scheduling so I can like see who's coming up in my calendar and like process that side of it. So there's like I can just see where you could grow this thing and just keep going with it. So
yeah.
that's super exciting. What do you find most challenging as someone that's like a founder for this new SaaS product? Is it kind of just the time because you have another job that you're contending with? What's the most challenging piece to running it right now?
Yeah. I mean, if you ask me right now, which you are, I guess, it's uh been moving the past few months. But like I'm so stoked to have that done and behind us. And now we're just like here. So now moving forward, I think the things that would be the hardest is yes, time, right? But that has like, and we have two young kids, a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old. So that takes up time too, right? But for myself, I've really learned to pick the things that highest impact, like have the highest impact, um, have the highest leverage, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do this thing right now where we do no backlog. We have like a feature request board, and I have that still running and I still look at that. But then we used to have like a GitHub issues backlog, and then I looked at it, there's like 500 things on there. And I found a lot of the things on there I had already come back and fixed from a future thing. So like if it's important, it'll surface again kind of thing, right?
Gotcha. Yep.
Um so I would say the hardest thing for me has been picking the right things to work on. Like I'll find I sit down and let's say I only have like an hour for Videotap itself. I'll sit down and I'll be like, well, that button doesn't look right. And I change it and I make it beautiful, whatever. But it's like you did the wrong thing. Like that doesn't help any people.
Right.
That's like a 10% lift on improved UI.
Right.
And that's the struggle. And I think I want to get better at knowing what will have most impact.
Yep. 1000%. That's typically the case with any of this like
Mhm.
grooming or like any style of having issues and you're trying to work through them and what has the most impact. So I'm also curious, like, would you ever open source this? What's your scaling plan? All of those fun businessy like things.
Yeah. Yeah. Open source, probably not. I think there's, to be honest, a lot of my like OpenAI keys are probably in the source code.
Yeah,
Um, I think scaling it, if we can get to a point where we're, like you said, like we're the central piece of a marketing campaign for a specific video, that would be insane. That would be huge. And that's kind of like always been the goal, is just I've spent a lot of time learning how to deal with video, like downloads, uploads, bit rates, FPS. Frames per second has destroyed us on clips, like especially for clips of your length, like, or videos of your length at the hour long.
Yep.
The difference between 24 frames per second versus 30,
Yeah.
like
Huge.
over an hour is huge.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of bugs, and I think you've seen a lot of those of just handling video, which sucks. But now
Yeah.
that I think we're over that hump, yeah, working on those integrations is next, and making our clip editor better.
There has to be like that moment that's kind of rolling around your head, and like you don't have to talk about this, but there's probably got to be a point in time where like you either get enough customers so you can do this full time, or like you have to start hiring contractors or something so you're like can scale up and keep up with everything else that's going on around the AI space at least.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you've seen the growing pains that we've had, right? Like you have a lot of good feature requests and we haven't been able to get to all of them. And, sometimes we get slow on responses. And that's the life of the founder, right? Like everything's on fire at all times.
Would you ever reach out to the VC firm to like get some money and go after something?
Yeah, I am a pretty solid no on that.
Okay.
I think the goal of this is to not have a job, right? To have the freedom, and then that just gives it away, I think.
Sure.
And yes, we could grow faster. Yes, we could do all that, and like, but really, at the stage of my life, like I'm 35 years old, I just want a nice lifestyle business that will back, going out to restaurants and stuff like going out on little trips.
Yep. Totally. That makes sense.
And
it's all about what you want out of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, if you ask me in my 20s, sure, like, let's go big and let's get this funding. Let's hire some people and let's try to change the world. But
yep.
I want to change my little corner and like help the few content creators that come through our door.
Yeah. I mean, DevRel, even though it's, there's a lot of us out there, it still seems like a small community. So once we find stuff like this that works, I think we're dedicated is the wrong word, but like we want it to be successful. We want to be able to use that tool. We want to be able to support other people that are using it. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is fun to see when like any of these DevRel folks or any techie folks starts building like a side project. I love it. And like,
yep.
Yeah.
I love the stuff
that
Cassie was building. They had a really like it was very similar to kind of what you were working on, but they've pivoted. I think they're VC.
Who was?
Cassie.
Cassidy. Yeah. Contenta.
Yep.
Yeah. They've pivoted pretty big, I would say. Like it doesn't even resemble what it was before.
Yeah. I need to talk to Lily again and see kind of if that original product's floating around still. So
yeah,
it's interesting. Anything else I'm missing that you can think of, Chris, in the AI world? Are you excited about anything else coming down the pipe?
No, I think the conversation about Devin's been beat up a bunch.
Sure. That's
but,
fair enough.
Yeah, I did a podcast, I think 2 days ago, and I think 80% of that podcast ended up being, will AI take our jobs, right? Like, and the classic question. And I think our two takeaways were like, one, if it takes away jobs, then that leads us to be, yes, it'll suck in the short term, but it kind of opens people up to be more creative, right? Like,
yeah,
I think there will be way more YouTube channels created in the soon future. Way more vlogs, way more. I don't think blogs are going anywhere right now.
Yeah. I always kind of compare it to like when the WYSIWYG editors or the drag and drop stuff for websites, when that first came out, everybody's like, oh, no one's going to be a front end developer anymore. And we saw how that shook out. So like maybe like we'll have to twist and go a different way, and hopefully we can just become more creative around these things. But I just don't see any time we can pull the humans completely out of it. But
I agree.
We'll see.
Yeah. It'll help me do less boring stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm tired of doing boring stuff.
My only fear, and it's a big one because I am a content creator, is the like washing down of content. Like
Yeah,
everyone will end up with the same images and stuff like that. And so my push is always to tell people like still be creative, like use the tools, but maybe make it part of your branding. So I like our intro now. Like that was
yeah.
AI generated. I could never make that. That would have cost me, I don't know, $10,000 to make or some stupid thing. But now
Yeah,
it's like, it's still our black cat, it's coding cat, and like it works. Like that's
yeah,
cool. And the great part is I could change it next week. And that's
yeah,
just the iterative piece to it. So there's a lot of fun that can be done still.
yeah. No, I agree. I think more fun. Like for you to have done that, the intro 10 years ago. I don't know if how much you know about, motion graphics and stuff, but I couldn't do it,
No, I
but I
couldn't.
can now.
Yeah, totally. And like the audio too. Like now there's all these audio creation pieces. And now like I've been putting out these kind of lo-fi music things once a month because we can
Mm,
create audio and mix it with Kyber AI to do the video side. And like now we're doing something cool. Like I like it. So
yeah.
again, I don't know if like you're doing a great job making money off the AI side of it or getting there or whatever you want to say. But like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me, it's just part of the normal branding and kind of keep them going. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
we'll
I mean,
see.
if you think about it, like anybody can make stuff like this. Like there's still only what, like 10% of people are developers, right?
Yeah,
And so I joined SourceCraft because their mission is make it so everybody can code. Use AI to make everybody code.
totally.
And they compare it to back when literacy first was a thing, like when books were around, only like 10% of people could read and write, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
back then people were like, well, that's just how it is. But now our numbers are like what, over 90% legibility, or that's the wrong word, but
Can read.
um yeah, can read.
Literate. I don't know. I think it's
Literate. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so in a couple years, in 10 years, 20 years, if everybody can build apps or build websites just by dictating to something, then uh, we'll see a whole new flock of jobs and
yep.
communities pop up. Like nobody knew Twitch is going to be a thing 20 years ago.
The part that's like amazing how it's permeated past like the nerds of the world. Like I sat down with our friend, he's a professor in writing. Like he's just an
Mm,
English professor. And like I forget like they have to deal with all of the stuff that the students are coming in and faking and like all this stuff. And so
yeah.
he is like by far more knowledgeable about AI than I am even. And I'm like, wait, are we talking about LLMs and blah, blah, blah? He's like, oh, I don't know about that, but here's the tools. I'm like, wow, like it's a different world that we're living in because
Yeah.
it's got its fingers in everything now. So
Man, I thought it was a terrible naming choice, and I actually still kind of think it's a terrible naming choice for OpenAI to have called it Chat GPT,
yes. Yeah.
but it's like the number one app in the App Store now, and it's just a
Yeah.
household name, and
Yeah.
it's
I think
I don't think
it
it's good.
humanized it a little bit too, you know?
Yeah,
It's like you can have a
that's
chat
true.
with anything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways. All right. Well, let's do our perfect picks. I'll go first because I know Chris, you need another minutes to come up with something.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
So I have been watching, and I'll explain why I love this concept a little bit. But I've been watching Dinner Time Live with David Chang, and the biggest piece to this is the live part for me. So Dave will come on, and he's got like two guests. I think most of them are comedians, or like at least they're famous people that he knows and things like that. And so they'll sit down for dinner, and Dave spends like I think it's an hour and a half or something like that, and he'll cook them like a meal while they're chatting about other things, but he's screwing it up and they're dropping F-bombs when they're not supposed to be. They keep forgetting. Like there's just this like chaos going on. But to me, like that's real life. It's not like this fake production thing they've made perfect and there was a fake pie sitting in the oven that they just reach out and like say, oh yeah, this. So, like even though it took them 10 times to make that. And the reason why I love this is I still love doing code with Codingcat. So we do 90 minutes of kind of pair programming where someone's teaching me a subject, or if you've ever seen Learn with Jason, Jason Langsdorf's doing the same thing. You get on and we code something up. And the reason I love doing this stuff is that one, you screw up, and people screw up all the time, and like we show how like we get by those screw ups and like what thought process you're going through to get through it. But the second piece to it is every time I've done something, I've either learned or like learned a new process to write code or something along those lines. And it's like, I think just having people get together to like teach others that way of doing it, I think it's so important in that live context. So that's why I love this live version of Dave Chang. So it's really cool.
Sweet.
What do you think, Chris? Did I give you enough time?
Yeah, I learned about this the other day. It's a tool called Meticulous.ai. I think it's ME.
Can't spell worth anything.
There you go. Yeah. So, as far as like seeing uses of AI here and there, I think a lot of it is, I don't know, pretty run of the mill. And there's only been a few times where it's like, oh, that's actually really, really good. And that feels like magic. I think this is one of them. What Meticulous does is it will take real user recordings of people browsing your website and using your app, and then it will over time see how people use your app, and then it will tell you, like it'll use AI to just pretty much watch the video of somebody going through your site, and then if something breaks, it will know and it'll notify you, hey, this is the journey that they took, and then they clicked like checkout, and then checkout did not open the checkout panel or something.
Oh wow.
And so you don't have to write the tests, and obviously you have, like, this only covers a certain set of tests, but you just plug it in and it'll just start watching people go through your site and then testing your site for you.
Wow. So
Yeah.
maybe this could be my thing instead of Sentry, because that's what I'm ultimately looking for, trying to get out of. That's really cool. So does it also propose fixes? Do you know? Or
I don't know. I just learned about it. I wanted to use it. I think they're pretty early on. Like you can't even I don't know if you can sign up, and they don't have a pricing on their page.
Oh yeah, there's like a just sign in and then
Only book a demo. Yeah.
Maybe. Let's
Oh,
try
that login screen.
It's the new one, isn't it great?
I hate it every time.
Here, let's
Oh,
see
you
how
can
far
sign up. Okay.
using
Cool.
the name of your GitHub org. Okay, Codingcat.dev. See how far we get here. I'm probably gonna give away trade secrets. Codingcat, sure. We'll just start small, friends.
Yeah. Not all of them.
Here, I'll do the main one, even though I shouldn't.
It's okay.
No,
We'll
I'm
remember.
not going to. I'm gonna do this one. Makes me too nervous. I started failing PRs the other day. It was because I installed something else live. I was like, oh yeah, that's not good. Astro's not a church. Yeah. All right, sweet. So it looks like pretty easy to throw into. I think
Yeah.
it's all
Just drop
front
the
end,
line.
right?
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to go sign up now.
Sweet. Love it. Well, Chris, that's a good pick. I like that one. It was a pleasure having you on. I know it took us a minute to get this set up because of your moves and stuff, but stay in touch. I want to talk more AI. I want to talk more Videotap and kind of follow along the journey. Maybe we can sneak in another one for SourceGraph and get you guys going on that side too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Very
Thanks for
sweet.
having me.
All right, we'll catch you next time. See you, peeps.
Cool. See ya.